How's it going, everyone? I'm UpsideMax, and I'm going to be bringing you the new patch rundown for 50.3 and what comps I use to climb to rank 17 on the NA ladder. So hopefully these can help you out as well, and I know this has a very long awaited video. So the 5 comps that I'm going to be talking about today are Star Guardians, Ryze, Senna, Prodigy, Ashe, and then a new reroll composition, Jhin Crew Hybrid. If you have any questions, make sure you let me know either in the comments or in the Discord server or on my stream. All of the links are in the description below. Also, I'm recording this at 4 AM, so if the voice is a little bit low, feel free to turn it up. Okay, main meta shifts. I think AD is a little bit better than AP on this patch, just because there are more AD options to be playing around. Your main level 8 comps to be defaulting for AD is going to be Duelist Ashe, Mentor Ryze, and Star Guardians are both hybrid, and then you have your Crystal Gambit, your Varus level 9. Yuumi is going to be one of your two default AP lines. Technically Star Guardian uses some as well, but it's usually just going to be the 4 Mentor Ryze and the Yuumi for your AP level 8 comps. For reroll, you have a new one, which is going to be Crew Jhin. I'll be talking about that today. Then you have your Katarina, Kai'Sa, Xayah, Rakan. So you can only be playing this with 2 out of 2 fan service. And the way this works is their custom fruit. You want to be fruiting the Xayah first. If your Xayah gets fan service as your first fruit, or like as one of your 2, then your second fruit is going to be guaranteed fan service as long as you fruit the Rakan. So this is how it's going to work. Xayah as your first one, and then Rakan as your second one, and it's guaranteed if your Xayah has your first fruits fan service. Comic Protectors recently got buffed, and then also Viego 3. Comps to avoid unless high rolling. Sorcerers and Soul Fighters, these are just going to be pretty humble top 4 compositions, pretty hard to place higher than that. So if you have the spot and everything else is contested, sometimes you just take your top 4 and you leave with a smile. Okay, stage 1 unit tier list. Gnar and Malphite are going to be your must holds for the patch. Really strong units early game, also leads into the into the Jhin crew line, into the Duelist line. For Gnar, you get slam your Kraken Rageblade, go into Ashe. Syndra is still going to be pretty good as your AP backline, so any AP item you could go into Prodigy, you could go into Star Guardians. Bastions is still stronger than Jugs, which is stronger than Heavyweights, just because I don't think the Zac unit is very good, but Bastions like your Garen and Rell, really good. And then Lucian Aatrox, always good. You can play this, you get 1 GP, 1 Senna, get the Mighty Mech on your board, which is really good for early game to mid game. You can also just play this into 4 Mentor Mech with your AP items on Lucian, and eventually you move them over to Ryze. Units to stay away from: Kalista, Kayle. Kalista just pretty inconsistent, also takes a really long time to cast, needs a lot of items, and then Kayle just not very good on this current patch. Okay, stage 2 item slams, mostly talk about the S ones and then the D ones. So Stoneplate, really good frontline item, a lot of value for 1 unit. Infinity Edge, Spirit Trojan, Ginsu's, Kraken, Archangel, Void Staff. These are all going to be items that go into a specific composition. So like Rageblade Kraken go into like Ashe Xayah. Infinity Edge goes into Star Guardian, Jhin, Senna, also Varus on level 9. Trojan goes into Kai'Sa, Senna, Varus on level 9. Also you could put this on Jinx or Ahri in Star Guardians. The last one, just any generic AP, you could play into either Yuumi, Ryze, or also Star Guardians as well. So a lot of these S tier items are going to be items that kind of tailor your game into a specific direction. The D tier ones to avoid, all of these here, either they're just not very good items like Bloodthirster, or they kill components that you really want, like Titans, there goes your bow. So that's why I do not make these on stage 2-1. Okay, let's get straight into the first comp of the day, Star Guardians. So, as you see here, plenty of buffs, not only to the Prismatic, but to the Seraphine, Xayah, Jinx, and also to the Ahri bonus. This is going to be a level 8 mixed damage DPS board where you have multiple carries. Every unit on this board does something, so a lot of units can be itemized, which means it's really flexible for items. Also, the level 8 board only requires 2 4 costs, so it's actually pretty cheap, and you should be able to go to level 9 pretty quickly. Because the economy of the board is pretty cheap, you want to be making sure you have at least 2 combat augments, which is either going to be healing augments or shielding augments, because Nico will increase these effects. So what does each one do? Rell gives all of your Star Guardians a team-wide shield that lasts. This is not like just 15 seconds, it's until it's used. Syndra is AP, Zaya is magic attack on every third auto attack, Ari is mana, gain mana after casting, Nico is heal and shield, Poppy is heal, Jinx is gain attack speed, Seraphine is every stat. Or not every stat like this, I mean every stat like armor, magic resist, AD, health, and then also the emblem is very, very powerful in this composition. Okay, so here's what the level 8 board is going to look like. You're going to level to 8 on 4-2, roll down for this board. You actually have a flex slot. The flex slot is usually going to be Kobuko, Cassante, Swain, whichever one you have. Usually it's the Kobuko. Damage reduction for the entire team is really, really good for a start of combat shield. Also, it's heavyweight for your main tank. Jinx kind of has 2 bists. This is her regular bist, which is Raid Blade, Kraken, and Infinity Edge. You can also go Shojin Infinity Edge +1. This will kind of change her fruits, so I'll talk about that in the fruit section. Poppy is just going to be your tank, so Gargoyles +2 tank items. Your swords can go to Sterix for Poppy, so it's kind of hard to get rid of excess swords after you already have your Infinity Edge, and Sterix is a pretty good item on Poppy, so just remember to note that. If you do have the Seraphine on 8, it will just go over Kobuko, and you'll just play 8-star Guardian on stage 4. Here are the augments. So Star Guardian Crest or Crown is really, really good. The Crest is just a gold augment, so you get the emblem for free. The Crown gives you a Steadfast Heart. Do not take Circlet. Circlet is basically a prismatic augment on 3-2 that is the exact same thing as the gold one. It does not give you an item, so just stick with the Crest or the Crown. Climb the ladder because this is a verticals comp. Also, you're not getting any like AD, AP health just from the trade itself. Quality over quantity is extremely good. And then a couple other ones. Items, Keeper's Shield gets increased value because of Nico. Same idea with the last second save and the second win. And then any item or econ 1 is going to be good as well. This is usually what your final board is going to look like with your power ups on Poppy and Jinx. So anything with the asterisks has a special meaning or special reasoning behind it. So let's go over the first ones. Corrosion and Skypiercer are only going to be good if you're lacking Shred. So this is a dual type of damage composition where you have magic damage and physical damage. So sometimes it's hard to get both the Shred and the Sunder. So if you're missing both or you're just missing one, you could take Corrosion on Poppy or Skypiercer on Jinx. Solar Breath, same thing. If you're missing anti-heal, then you could take Solar Breath for the time being. And then Gather Force and Hyperactive. Gather Force is going to be pretty good when you have the Shojin build and you do not have Kraken. So then this is kind of like your makeshift Kraken Slayer. But then Hyperactive is going to be good when you have the Kraken build, where more attack speed with the Kraken equals more attack damage. So don't mix these up. For example, don't take Hyperactive with the Shojin build. Okay. This is the mentor comp. I'll explain it real quick. All you need to know out of this is it's good now. Things have been buffed and things are strong. So mentor Senna Ryze, this is a level 7 to 8 composition mixed damage as well. This is a DPS board, kind of like a burst board actually, where there's also a lot of flexible item holders. Now, why is this board good? It's a very stable level 8 comp on stage 4, even without everything fully upgraded. And Kobuko gives damage reduction, Udyr gives AD AP plus anti-heal, it also gives attack speed, and Ryze gain mana on auto attack. So here is usually what your level 8 board is going to look like. Once again, level to 8 on 4-2, roll for this board. Your Ryze bist is going to be Void Staff +2, so any one of these is going to be good, but Void Staff is going to be really, really good on him, same with like Blue Buff. Senna best in slots, Shojin +2 AD items, so any one of these are fine. Senna doesn't have any passive AD or bonus innate AD, so Deathblade is going to be really good on her. Lee Sin is going to be better. This is technically your flex slot on level 8. You could play an Akali, a Yone, you could play like another strat, that's fine. But Lee Sin is going to be the best. And you also don't really need early anti-heal in this composition because Udyr will be giving anti-heal. One thing to note is even though these two units are executioners, there's not like a super locked bis on them, so if you have to make the Drill Gauntlet or the Infinity Edge, that is fine. Here's what your augments are going to look like. So we have a lot of different carries, which is why Buried Treasure is going to be really good. Hold the Line, extremely good. These are going to be your two main damage dealers. So Hold the Line, we have infinite frontline units, so we're going to get really good value out of those. Portable Forge, it can be Mana Zane and Fishbones for the Senna. Teacher's Cancel, Last Second Save, and also Shopping Spree, I like as well. Couple other ones like lineup is pretty good. Find your center if you have items on like your Lee Sin or your Yasuo, and then any sort of econ to help you hit. In terms of positioning, you want to be kind of mixing up these two units and switching them depending on your opponent's positioning. The Kobuko has the same targeting as the Akali, so either way you'll be hitting both corners either with a stun or with the actual Akali. For your fruits, you're going to be putting them on the Ryze and the Senna. So Ryze, his best ones are going to be like Icebender, Killer Instinct, Efficient, Annihilation, and then Sky Piercer if you do not have a Void Staff. For Senna is going to be Efficient, Shadow Clone, Sky Piercer, same idea if you don't have the Lost Whisper yet. But if you do not have a Shojin and you have full damage, you can also go Precision. So a really strong comp, try this out. If you have a lot of copies of Senna, and you have an early Ryze, you could technically slow roll on level 7 for the Senna 3 first, and then go to level 8. Because if you think about it, you have a flex slot here anyway, so the level 7 board is just the board without the flex slot. Okay, Yuumi. Pretty contested now. Was kind of low-key last patch. Kind of, not really, but now it is high-key. So level 8 to 9 board, this is a magic damage stall board. One thing to remember is that Red Buff Morello Void Staff is a lot better than the Spark and Sunfire in this comp. And this is your one of your 2 default AP comps. So Syndra took a little bit of a nerf, Seraphine got buffed. Also now the Seraphine cast will go off even if she dies, which is really big. And then Yuumi damage just goes down a little bit. You have 2 builds for your Yuumi. You always want Gunblade. First one is going to be if you just have a lot of gloves, so like Striker's JG. The better one is going to be Archangel plus one of the AP items. So these are your 1 of 2 builds. And then you'll be tanking either your Cassante or Leona 2, whatever you hit on stage 4, with a Gargoyles plus 2 tank items. Seraphine will go on your level 9. Now that Syndra has been nerfed and Seraphine is buffed, you will play the Seraphine over the Syndra on level 8, and then on the level 9, you'll play the Syndra. This is only if you hit the Seraphine on level 8. I won't go over all of these augments here, but a couple of really good ones. Buried Treasures, Belt Overflow, Little Buddies, Last Second Save, Plot Armor, and Second Wind. This is a stall comp, so anything that allows your frontline to stay alive longer allows Yuumi to cast more often and also ramp up her Archangels. So any of these you really want to look out for, and this comp uses a large variety of different augments. For your fruits, Super Genius was nerfed a little bit, so these are still going to be her best ones, Super Genius and Bullet Hell. If you have no Shred, you go for Keen Eye or Sky Piercer. If you have no Anti-Heal, you go for Soul Breath. For Leona / your Cassante, Resistant Body Change Standalone are going to be good. For Cassante specifically, you can also go Tank Zilla. Because of his revive, he is almost usually going to be guaranteed to last at least 15 seconds and get that Tank Zilla proc off. So a really, really strong comp. You'll be playing this if you have an AP opener and then rolling down on level 8. Okay, let's keep going. Ashe, level 8, physical damage, stall DPS board. So there's a lot of stall boards here. I think the only burst board that we really talked about was the Mentor one so far. This is Abyss heavy composition. If you do not have the best in slot items, it is going to be really, really hard to win rounds on stage 4 and stage 5. So minimal nerfs this patch onto the Duelist. Colossal took a little bit of a nerf, same with Ginsu's. Gameplay gets a little bit of a buff. And as usual, we'll be playing that 6 Duelist Colossal Udyr plus sets on level 8. So this is going to be your common level 8 board with the Lee Sin. As soon as you hit the Lee Sin, you'll just be dropping the Kai'Sa. Ashe Biss. These are going to be her 2 Biss items, and you need Udyr Biss. So these are your 5 items that you really, really need. Your third one in Ashe is either going to be a second one of Rageblade Kraken, it could be a Giant Slayer, Last Whisper, Edge of Night, Red, or Gunblade. But your Udyr items need to be Titan Stair Gargoyle. If you do not have these but are angling Ashe, I recommend you play 6 Juggernaut instead and have a lower cap, because Udyr without these 3 items will not be a sufficient enough tank to be able to play the 6 Duelist version. Udyr your Colossal level 8, you want to Udyr your Colossal your Udyr and Lee Sin on level 9, and then also, as I mentioned, Lee Sin goes over Kai'Sa. Artifacts are really, really strong in the Ashe one, so Fish Bones or Flickerbait is almost an insta top 4 with Ashe. Buried Treasures, if you have Radiant Refractor, it's going to be Gunblade on the Ashe. And then something to really help you hit your BIS is Component Buffet and Pandora's items. These will like really help you hit your main Udyr items and your 2 main Ashe items, and then you just fill in the slot of whatever you have left. In terms of fruits, Ashe has a couple of really good ones, so like Double Strike, Bullet Hell, Shadow Clone, Sky Pierce, Desperado. These are all good. Udyr, you must have Colossal. You cannot settle for standalone, you cannot settle for round 2 at either of those. You must have Colossal on your Udyr in order to make this composition work. Okay, and our last one for the day, Crew Jhin. This could be an interesting composition, a little bit more complicated, so I'll talk about exactly how to play it. It's a physical damage DPS board with also a lot of single target because of the Jhin 4th shot, and you need to be having Sivir 3 and Malphite 3 before pushing levels. Now the reason why this comp is really good is because they fixed Jin's 4th shot, so he used to lose a lot of damage, and now that's back, along with a little bit of a 2 Wraith buff. Okay, so this could be your level 4 to 6 board. Your level 4 board probably look a little bit more like this, just without the Gnar. Now, what you want to do is not level or roll until stage 3-1. On stage 3-1, right after basically Krugs, you'll still be level 4. And you want to roll a little bit to get more copies of the Malphite and Sivir. I don't know if you should exactly go down to like 30 gold. You can even like stay at 40 gold as long as you have like your Malphite 2 and your Sivir 2. Then you want to slow roll on level 5 for the Sivir plus Malphite 3. Once you hit the Sivir 3 and Malphite 3 on level 5, after you hit them, then stop rolling on 5, slowly make your way to level 6, so that means econ back up, and then level to 6 at your next good interval, and then you'll slow roll for Jhin 3. So that's how you want to do it, from 4 to 6, because you really need these 2 units specifically. Kennen and Gnar are bonuses, and then you want to doing the most of your rolling on level 6 to hit your Jhin 3, and then on level 6 you'll just play another sniper like a Caitlyn, or if you high roll a Jinx. Malphite BIS is going to be Gargoyles plus 2 tank items, so like Bramble-Vest / Declaw, Warmog, some sort of damage reduction like Steadfast Heart or Spirit Visage. These are all good. Jhin BIS is going to be Deathblade, Last Whisper plus 1, either Infinity Edge, Strikers, Ginsu's, I think even Gunblade is fine, but you really want Deathblade and Last Whisper. Here's what your final board is going to look like. Actually caps pretty high with your 5 Sniper and Varus. Some good augments, misconnections to really help you hit the Malphite Sivir, also the Kennen and the Gnar. Mogul's Mail is broken in this comp. It gives you infinite gold, really good item on Malphite, so either the Shimmer Scale Essence or all that Shimmers really helps. Same with Replication. Sword, you can use infinite swords. Gloves, you can use infinite gloves. Chains, you can use infinite chains. Keep an eye out for this, and if you get this, then you'll be in a really good spot. Okay, last but not least, the power-ups. So Malphite has 2 good ones, Standalone and Atomic. Both of these are really good. Jhin has Artistic KO, which is going to be his unique one. Annihilation is pretty good early to mid-game, but as you get more snipers in, then the bonus damage from Annihilation becomes a little bit less impactful, where you'd rather swap it to Artistic KO or Spirit Sword, but you must have the crit build for Spirit Sword. If, let's say, your items are really bad, and you're somehow still playing Jhin, you have like Rageblade, DB, something like GS, then you cannot go Spirit Sword because it really revolves around having crit. So stick with these 3 and you'll be good to go. Okay, that's it. I'll wrap this up. I'll get this uploaded for the team. So that is going to be the patch rundown for 15.3. Just stick within these level 8 compositions. Take a look at your starting items and that will determine what composition to play. If you have a good reroll line, definitely go for the reroll one. My favorites right now are like Kai'Sa, caps really high. Xayah is like okay, but you really need infinite bows and best in slot as well. So just keep that in mind. And then things to avoid: sorcerers and slow fighters. Don't play these. If you play these, you're just playing for a top 4. Sometimes you have to do it, but that's all you need to know. So that's it for today. Hopefully the audio was okay. I'm going to sleep. I'll be streaming the sub-regionals in the morning. So hopefully I'll see you there. And hopefully you learned something, and let me know how your climb goes. Take care and good luck.